Inside Disc Golf.
Hello and welcome to Inside Disc Golf, Episode 4. This is a podcast about European disc golf, and I'm your host, Andrew Gum, here in Disc Golf Stream Studio. I'm joined with Viktor Tågestad here via video link. How are you today?
Yeah, I feel okay. Sadly, after 2.5 years of being able to avoid this virus that's going around in the world, I finally caught it. Sadly, but yeah, I'm feeling okay. I've had a rough weekend, but luckily there was a lot of disc golf on the TV to watch, so I've been occupied with that. I'm still recovering, but it's okay. Sadly, we couldn't be together in the studio today.
Well, thank you very much for joining me anyway via video link here. And like you said, there was a lot of yeah, we had a really exciting weekend of disc golf, didn't we? That we're going to go through over there
crazy.
in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Was the USDGC, that's the United States Disc Golf Championship, and there was also the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship taking place as well. So two very extremely prestigious events there at the Winthrop Arena. One of the best courses that you'll ever play or see. It's designed to perfection to challenge the best, and it certainly brought the drama this time, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. It was not easy to relax when watching these extremely exciting events. Both the Throw Pink and the USDGC male division, there were just... I've never seen such drama.
Yeah, incredibly exciting. The Europeans really showed up, and that's what this podcast is mostly about, is the European perspective. And we had three of the 6 podium positions were filled up by European players.
That's right. Has that ever happened before?
No, definitely not. Pretty impressive performances and incredibly exciting to follow along.
Yeah, it was a drama. Should we start with the Throw Pink, maybe, and
sure,
everything that happened there? Because there was definitely one thing that stood out after the first round, and it was Kristin Tattar, who came in as the favorite, as the clear favorite. Everyone thought that she will be in the top from the start, but that was definitely not the case. She had a rough start. She was down, I think, on 22nd place or so after 1 and 2 rounds.
I think she was in 16th place after round 1.
That's probably true, yeah.
I mean, which is pretty shocking and surprising. Yeah, obviously the clear favorite. She's been dominant all season, and especially as of late, she's really kicked it on that late stretch of the U.S. Pro Tour there. Of course, taking on the World Championships and being right there in the mix at every event. She hasn't missed the podium yet, so incredibly impressive performance from her. But she was in kind of unfamiliar territory there, uncharted waters really. After round 1, she was +2, I think, after the first day. She dropped 5 strokes in the last few holes. She just looked like she wasn't quite there, quite her normal self mentally, as far as the focus goes.
Yeah, she mentioned that also in one of the interviews on Disc Golf Network there, that she didn't really have the focus. She wasn't really there on the course. Her mental game that is usually unbeatable, she just wasn't focused, and that shows how tight it is, that it's not enough to be a good disc golfer. You need to be there, you need to show up and bring your absolute best game, because otherwise you're going to be behind, even if you're Kristin Tattar.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the skills are there. It just seemed like maybe she was feeling a little bit out of the moment, like maybe a bit homesick even, is kind of what was the impression I got from the interviews that I had witnessed, or that I've seen from her pre and post event.
It's a long season. It's not easy to be away from home for that long, of course, and especially if you have a kid there at home. Just must be very difficult to be on the other side of the world. Yeah.
She really, battled it out there, and she even had a chance to win coming down to the final hole. So that just shows how good she is, that even when she's not feeling like super into it, she was able to put those things aside and show up for the other days of the event. Shot a pretty hot round, second and third day, I guess good enough to get herself up there on the lead card for the final day, and then she put put some pressure on Katrina Allen going down the stretch, really. I mean, so she's clearly the best player in the world in the FBO division. And even when she's having an off weekend, she's still in contention for the victory. So it says a lot about how good she is, really.
Yeah, you said it. She was actually close to be able to take down the win, coming in 2 strokes behind her on the difficult final hole. And she struggled a little bit there with her drive. She went out of bounds, I believe, and dropped one more stroke to Katrina Allen there. But otherwise, it could have been the other way around easily, because we saw so many big numbers there on hole 18.
Yeah, indeed. And it was kind of a little bit surprising that she didn't get really aggressive there at the end. But, I guess maybe she was thinking to play it safe and try to just hope that there was a mistake from Katrina, which I guess it didn't really work out in the end. But she didn't seem like so dialed in and focused on winning this event for some reason. I noticed it is a prestigious event, like we said, but it's not a major. It's been a long season. She's already kind of, I think, checked all the boxes off for this year. She's done everything you could ever expect. She's been dealing with that injury to her elbow and everything. So I think she's probably just feeling really satisfied with everything she's accomplished this year. And I think maybe ready to just have some time off is what it sounds like.
Yeah, and I think that her main focus this year was to get that World Championship title. She got that, and it can't be easy to just go out there and do the same thing every weekend after being able to accomplish such a thing as winning Worlds. So I couldn't be more impressed anyway of what I saw from Kristin Tattar in a completely new situation, being that far behind and just able to continuously claw yourself closer and closer and closer. And it was actually she was so close to actually take it down in the end.
She didn't even think about giving up. That just shows what kind of a heart of a champion she has, and how professional, and how just how much it means to her to have this job, to be a professional athlete and to be the best in the world. She really is an amazing talent and a true professional.
Oh yeah. And then we had Henna Blomros also on the podium, and she has really stepped up on a new level now, where I think she has proved to herself that she belongs in the absolute top. I think she has proved to the world what kind of class player she is. I have heard so many people talking about her that as long as she gets her game on for a whole competition, she's going to be unbeatable. Because no one throws as clean as she is.
She's amazing, isn't she? She just crushes it with extreme accuracy. I don't know if you watched the distance showcase after the live event where they were chucking the discs across the lake. She was the only female that was consistently getting across the water, and that's bombs. A lot of the MPO top dogs weren't able to get it there, so easily. Like she can throw really far and with extreme control. Like she's an incredibly special talent, and she's really been shining here at the end of the season over there. It's really great to see her kind of catching her stride and proving what she's made of, on the top stage over there with all the best. She hasn't missed a beat over there, really. Just impressive stuff.
Not at all. I have to admit that I had very high expectations on Henna before this season, because I saw what she was able to do last year in Finland, and then I saw that she could outdrive most of the guys when she played on the courses here on the Finnish tour, the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour. And I thought already in Las Vegas, the first event of the year, that this is going to be something special for Henna Blomros. But you notice quite soon that both she and her friend Evelina, they were not really there. I don't know if it was a mental thing. I don't know if it was that it was a long winter coming over playing in US. It wasn't the first time for them, but of course they aren't as used to playing in the US as many of those other top players. But she has slowly but steady getting herself up there on the absolute top. And it's just a pleasure to watch her. I feel proud, even though I'm not a Finn myself, but as a European, she couldn't make me any more proud.
Yeah, she's amazing. I mean, of course, yeah, like you said, her and Evelina have struggled on the green, but they're consistently the best throwers in the game. I think that's uncontested. I don't think anybody would argue against that.
Definitely.
So, I mean, pretty amazing to have two special disc throwers from the same country here, and that they're so young and such good friends. They're really dynamite.
Yeah, and not only two, because we had one more Finn in the event who just keeps on impressing me, Heidi Line. And we were talking about the distance. If there's someone who has a lot of distance and a lot of clean and powerful throws, it's Heidi Line. And she showed yet again that she belongs in the absolute top of the world. It's just a matter of time until she's up there on the podium as well.
Yep, she actually outshot Kristen and Evelina and Henna first round. She was in 8th place, and the others had struggled first round. So she was the top Finn, and I think perhaps the top European, if I remember right. I think she was.
I think she right also Tete was playing really well there in the beginning. So,
that's right. Yeah. I think they were both at -2, if I remember right, for the first round. So they got off to a great start. They weren't able to keep the momentum and finish quite as strong as they probably would like to have, but really great results anyway from them.
And what really impresses me also with Heidi Line especially is the way that she is up there playing with the absolute best, but she's not having like this highlight rounds. She had a few highlight shots, but she's playing on her level, and her level is clearly enough to be up there. And when she gets like this hot round, she is in the absolute top. Then very few people in the world can beat her.
Yeah, and it's easy to forget this is her first time over there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's
second because she was over for short,
right earlier in the season, but I guess this year, she's really gaining valuable experience over there. And as we saw all season long on Disc Golf Stream, she's a dominant force, and she's an incredible disc golf player, and a lot of fun to watch as well. Great personality. Oh
yeah, she brings so much energy to her cards. She brings so much emotion, and she's such a. I almost said clown. I really didn't mean that in any bad way, but she's just having that kind of like.
Having fun. She has a great sense of humor.
She has fun on the course. You can see that she likes playing disc golf, and that's not something you see from all players. And that's why it's extra fun.
Yeah, and it's beautiful to see. It's really great because it should be fun, and I think a lot of people take it pretty seriously, and they should. It's their job, but it's nice to see that she's really enjoying the experience, and making good friends along the way, and great memories, and providing incredible entertainment for us all with all the live coverage and everything that we get to see from her. So really cool that she's over there doing her thing, and I think we're going to watch her steadily climb up those ranks as the years go by.
Yeah, I mean, she is not yet 30. She could easily be in the top for another 10 or 15 years if she just wants to. So I think she is around 29 or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but that's no age for a disc golfer, and especially not for someone like her.
Yeah, she's doing great. So we'll do a quick rundown of the results. Of course, Kristen Tatar and Henna Blomros on the podium, 2nd and 3rd respectively. Just one stroke between them. Really, it was a pretty tight battle. They both shot 4 down the final round, trying to chase down Katrina. Then we had a tie for 9th place was Evelina Salonen. So she shot
Still
1 down
good.
total for the event. Yep, top 10. Top 10's great with that class. That's about as stacked of a field as you're ever going to see for both of these events.
Yeah.
Incredible competition. Heidi was in 14th place, +3 total. Anniken Steen was in 16th place. Of course, we've seen her doing lots of great things this year as well from Norway.
Yeah, she also had a few highlight shots. It was so close to ace the whole one. I don't remember which round it was, but she had a chain out at some point there on hole 1. And
yeah, she did smash chains, didn't she? That was amazing. And great shooting all around. She's an incredible player, and she seems to just be getting better and better and more confident as well. So another great European player to keep an eye out for, even at these top level events. I think she has a chance. And
I think that was the first time for her also going overseas to play in US.
Super impressive results. Yeah. Really great experience for her. Katie Tata had a bit of a rough final round. She shot plus 13 on the final round, ended up at plus 15 total. So she was right there in the mix. She could have been in the top 10 quite easily. If she'd have just shot even that second round, she would have been right up there almost in the top 5. She really dropped off a bit, maybe just struggled a bit with the final round and finished in 24th place. So Rachel Turton, Luke Lorentzen, Rachel Turton, and Christy Unt all finished a little bit further down in the mix, but I'm sure they gathered really great experience, and I think they had a good time.
Yeah.
Most importantly,
quite clearly, I follow them all a bit on social media also, and it seems that they really enjoyed their time last week.
Yeah, and that's great.
Yeah,
that's great to see. Yeah, and Rachel, that was her first time over there. I think she can really build on that experience, and I'm sure she'll be back for more. And I'm not sure how much that knee's been bothering her, and she's doing a lot of other things in life as well. So it's really cool, and she's so new to the game as well. So I mean, a really incredible talent from the UK there, and someone we'll definitely be expecting to just keep improving and keep doing really amazing things.
Yeah, it's still one of her first ever professional seasons on the disc golf scene, and as you said, we can expect to see a lot more from her in the future. And gathering valuable experience is probably what was her main goal. Of course, she would have probably also wanted a better finish than what she had, but yeah, I still have my eyes on her. Let's say
for
like
sure.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, that was the throw pink, and yeah, it's not considered a major, but it's you have to qualify for it. It's had the highest payout after Worlds, so kind of feels like a major somehow, and I think maybe we will see that change in the future. Not too sure, but it certainly has that prestigious vibe or feel about it, and it's there on at the same time as USDGC. I think it would probably make sense if it were a major.
I think all the players feel like it's a major also, even though it's not classified as one. But yeah,
exactly. It has that kind of prestigious element to it, and I guess it's kind of a new event, so maybe it takes time to build up that recognition and be officially classified as such. But really big success for the Throw Pink Disc Golf Championships, and really looking forward to that event in the future.
So huge congrats to Katrina Allen who won the event, and also huge congrats to our Europeans Kristin Tattar and Henna Blomros finishing on that podium, 2nd and 3rd place. Great. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Big congrats to all those competitors. Katrina's putting was really impressive, and she really came out and set the bar up high, and then held on, did everything she needed to do. Almost wire to wire. I think she was 1 stroke back after the first round. And then Henna actually overtook her for a short time there. I can't remember if it was round 3 or, but so it wasn't. She didn't give up. She was a very impressive performer there, and well earned victory for her. So big congrats for that.
Inside Disc Golf.
Then over there on the MPO side, the USDGC, the most prestigious event of most historical and prestigious event of our sport. It's right up there with the World Championships as far as the one that everybody wants. It's a major. It's a really special venue. It's a special atmosphere, and a ton of work goes into it there. So big shout out to everybody that volunteers and all the organizers that put on such an event and make such a great spectacle for us to enjoy watching there. And it was a huge success again, as always.
Yeah, it was very definitely something special, not just because of the way it finished, but there is an aura around USDGC that it's hard to not get affected by. It feels that it's something special to follow. All the players have qualified to get there. You need to be worthy of stepping up on that for number 1 T-pad, and when you're there, then it has a very special feel. Yeah,
absolutely. It's they're always kind of tweaking it and changing it, and they seem to just kind of really be right on the pulse for what's happening in disc golf in order to challenge those top players, in order to kind of provide those sort of perfect elements of obstacle, and to continue to kind of really pushed the envelope as far as what's possible, course design wise. So really cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had such an exciting battle there. You know, I mean, of course, any disc golf stream viewer, and we are familiar with Nikos Antila. We already knew he was one of the best players in the world. We knew he's capable of doing this, but I think for him to actually do it, to put himself there, you know, just inches from a wire to wire victory at an event like that, you know, it's a really incredible accomplishment, a historical achievement for the young Finn, the European champion, the Finnish champion, and nearly the United States disc golf champion. The three. Yeah. Can you imagine the triple crown? He
I was
had
thinking
the triple crown.
That would have been like too good to be true to keep those three titles at the same time. Of course, he was so close. And let's run it down just for those listeners who actually haven't yet seen this event or haven't followed it as closely as we have. Niklas Antila was in the lead basically from round one up until the final hole. At least he was up there on the lead card every single round after round 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there was a 17-year-old guy from Iowa who just got him there on the final hole. Or the two last holes, maybe. Yeah, but
I mean, what a generational talent! What an incredible person! I mean, amazing disc golfer. I'm from my home state of Iowa. I couldn't be more proud. I've never been so proud to be from Iowa. After what I saw from that, from that young prodigy. I mean, he is amazing. You know, and the display of sportsmanship, professionalism. At that age, it's so unique and so special, and I just was incredibly impressed by what he did. Totally historic, youngest player ever to take down the USDGC, and Nikos did everything he could basically to earn that victory. But
he has never played better. He has never had a higher rated event in his life. He averaged at 1065. But Gannon Burr averaged at 1066.5. So that's how close it was. Man. It was one shot, and that whole 17 where Gannon hit that. What was it? 20 meters, 18 meters, something like that.
Yeah, 18-meter putt.
Yeah,
nailed it. I mean, that wasn't the only incredible putt he hit that round. He basically didn't miss a putt.
No,
he was obstructed there on hole 13, and that was the only putt that he actually missed. But it wasn't really even possible to make that because it was trees all up in his way. He just shot lights out, ice cold. Burr. How cold could you be? I mean, in that moment, to clutch up like that with the whole world watching at age 17, can you even believe that happened?
Yeah, in a way I can. I almost think he's too young to really understand like how big thing this is, and that's what you see from many players, and in not only in disc golf and not also in sports, but I'm thinking also in myself as a musician. I know that like being nervous and understanding of like what you're about to do, that comes with age also, and. So in a way, I think it's a very cool thing that he's able to handle the pressure at a young age. But I can also a bit understand it, that it might be easier for a young player who doesn't have that kind of expectations on him, just come in and score. But it was just amazing. And this is the future of disc golf so clearly. Gannon Burr, also Niklas Antila, who is already on the top in Europe, as we said, reigning European and Finnish champion. Now stepping up on the absolute highest level in the world. It's, yeah,
the future is so bright. And these two are definitely the top two leading the next generation on that charge. You know, it was kind of almost like a passing of the torch between eras. It felt like, you know, Paul Macbeth was there on the lead card, you know, in position to win. And these guys stole the show. Just straight up stole the show from him. He didn't shoot bad. No. He just couldn't keep up with that incredible pace. It was such a historical final round for so many reasons. I mean, we can't even get into all the things that were unique and historical about it. All the record-breaking stats that come along with this incredible show that we got to see, which I think was the best show of the year and one of the best disc golf battles I've ever seen, honestly. I mean, it was
of course,
amazing.
the European Open is up there fighting with it, but this was something else. These two new players that showed world class in a different way. Like, of course, Eagle McMahon and Paul Macbeth were fighting for that European Open title, and Eagle won it. But this was something new and something so that we really, really needed, I think, on the disc golf scene.
Yeah, the fact that they're so young, the fact that they're representing different countries and cultures, and just the way the battle ensued was something so incredible. I mean, Gannon Buhr's final round was the highest rated final round major, second only to Ricky Wysocki, I guess, at the Aussie Open a few years back. So, I mean, that's what it took to beat Niklas Antila. He like really had it so close he could have tasted it. It took something like extraordinary, almost out of this world, in order to beat him when he's in his element. And that's what we've seen basically all year long here on Disc Golf Stream. We've got to see him performing at that level, and it's really something special when anyone's even able to keep up with him, basically. And we have had some players that have been able to. So it's pretty amazing, that there is such a depth of field worldwide that can provide us such great entertainment with all this incredible action.
Yeah, and that's also what Niklas said. I was a little bit worried that he would be nervous and choke a little bit there on the final round. But when I've heard that, he said that no, I know how to win. He has done it many times. It's not the first time he's up on a lead card, even though it was the first time in a major. But he has won so many big titles already. He knows how to do it. He knows how to handle the pressure, and he showed it in such a magnificent way. So I barely find words for it. It's totally amazing. I mean, just hard to describe how excellent a performance it was and how incredible it was. But what really also struck me was just the display of professionalism and sportsmanship that we saw from both those young guys. To be in the heat of the battle and to show so much respect for each other and to show so much respect for the game and just to be such good people in that moment, not to get so caught up in the competitive element of it, but to sort of honor the dignity of this beautiful sport that way was, it really, really touched me in a deep way. The future is so bright. I'm so impressed with these young players and these young people in the world. And it's like, just really inspirational to get to witness that kind of interaction there and that level of sportsmanship and professionalism. Yeah, I was actually thinking a lot about you there during the final round, coming from Iowa, where Gannon Buhr is from, and now living in Finland, where we have Niklas Antila from. How did you feel? Like, did you root for any one of them, or did it? Yeah.
It was such a wonderful feeling. I mean, I feel like I couldn't have scripted it better. I'd like to put those two, where they were in that moment. Like, I was incredibly proud, to be from Iowa, to also be here in Finland. And, I couldn't lose, really. I wasn't rooting for either. I was just so amazed by what they were doing. I really am a huge fan of both of them and respect them, incredibly well. And I guess I just couldn't lose because they were representing my two homes, my home state, my home country. Now it was amazing. It was an amazing feeling. I was glued to the screen. I don't think I even blinked that last like 30 minutes of the whole thing. I was so deeply into it and so just happy that this sport exists, that these players exist, that they were able to perform that way and behave that way in front of all of the world watching, with all the media attention and all the crowd. Just to display that level of maturity. I was just really impressed and incredibly proud. Yeah,
I barely know what to say anymore, but it was definitely something special. I have to mention also the course. We were talking about it in our previous episode when we had our guests Tuomas Hytiainen and Yona Hainan, who also had really good performed really well there at Winthrop. And they said that it's the hardest course they have ever played. And I checked what rating a par round on even par round on the first round was rated about 10-18 or something like that. So it was definitely difficult, and you could see it on many players that there wasn't so many that played like around even par, because either you had a hot round or you had a really bad round. So
it's got major teeth,
yeah.
And the fact that those guys were able to shred that course, I mean, that's just so impressive. And
yeah.
Our guest from last episode, Yona Hainan, and we have to talk about him. He was amazing over there. He had the course record momentarily. He shot 11 down in that round 3. That was a course record.
Until
a few moments later, when Joe,
sorry,
he had a bit of a slow start, but he finished in the top 20. I mean, huge shout out to Yona Hainan, and first time over there in the States, first time playing the USDGC, and to get a top 20, that's almost unheard of. Honestly, I mean. Okay, Niklas Antila, that's next level. But I mean, Yona Hainan, super impressive performance. 1084 rated, -11 round 3.
Yeah, and the way he does that after having such a bad first round, I think he played 9 over par or something like that on day 1. He was down almost in the absolute bottom of the field, and then shooting, I think, top 10 rounds for second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, he was just like on fire.
Incredible to get yourself back up and just world class from there.
Yeah, and imagine just one round of being a little bit off from being right there up in the top.
Yeah,
I mean, it goes to show a lot about the level of play that we get to witness here on Disc Golf Stream. Of course, we're incredibly familiar with him, and we get to watch some of the best players in the world day in, day out. We're really privileged, and it's quite an honor to have the job that we have.
Yeah, and it is clearly now these last weeks has really proven it that it's just a matter of time before we get our first. Well, of course, I'm excluding Simon Lizotte now, because he feels almost like half American, North American, but the first European player as a winner on US soil. We're gonna get a major title. We're gonna get many titles on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Linus Karlsson was extremely close a few weeks ago at Maple Hill, won by Simon Lizotte, and now Niklas is even closer at the USDGC. So they are steadily improving, and it's
they're right there. The Europeans are right there. I mean, they have closed the gap, and they are in contention every week now, and it's incredible to watch. Super excited to follow all of their careers. You mentioned Linus Karlsson. How about that hole 14 skip ace?
Yeah, I think he was awarded the shot of the event with that, actually, by Disc Golf Network.
That is so cool, man. If you've seen that hole, you could almost not believe that he hit that road and skipped up into that basket. The basket is it's probably 3 meters high.
Yeah.
To get a skip up that high is just bonkers. What a cool moment for him to get that ace. And and also a great result for him too. We'll run down the final results shortly, but we also have to shout out Albert Tom, our other European ace, hole 16, forehand, stuck it in the bucket.
That was amazing.
Looked
impossible, but somehow he got it in that basket. It was another highlight, and they're showing us some class. And Albert Tam was, I think he, at least in the preliminaries for that distance competition, he was up in the top with a 700-foot throw. That
is so crazy.
Yeah,
that is so crazy.
I don't think he won then in the finals, but at least he showed what.
No, but he had the furthest throw, throw in the competition. But that's not the way that they organize that event. You have to qualify for the final thing, and then the final thing is separate from the scores that you received in the qualifying round. But he did throw the furthest throw.
Yeah,
and that's what people like David Wiggins Jr., the world distance record holder, Garrett Gurthey, Thomas Gilbert. I mean, goes on and on, the list of guys that can just completely smash on a disc.
Our guest Tuomas Hyttinen was also up there in the final, so shout out to him.
Shout out to him. And really disappointing that they didn't let him throw in the distance showcase. They had promised that all competitors. I would wonder about that, and I feel bad for him that he didn't get to display that incredible talent for throwing frisbees really far on that cool stage across the water. I don't know why they excluded him from the event, but I'm very disappointed in the USDGC for that. I think that's
that was kind of sad that he didn't get to show his skills in an event like that.
Yeah,
so,
to earn that opportunity and then to be denied like that, it must be a very painful experience. But he's a really positive, happy-go-lucky young dude, and hopefully it doesn't make him bitter at all in any way. But to earn that position and then not get it, kind of a sad story there. We won't dwell on it too much, but
no. But speaking of Tuomas Hyttinen, I was just looking that because in our previous episode, by the way, if you didn't listen to that, I really think you should go back and listen to episode 3 of Inside Disc Golf when we talked about this event and disc golf in general with Tuomas Hyttinen and Yona Hainan together. And Tuomas mentioned 5 key holes that he thought was really important to score on for his own game plan. And it was hole 5, it was hole 11, 12, 13, and 17. And I went back to look how he scored on those and compared it to his round scores, just to see if there was some kind of pattern, because that's what he said it would be. And that's so true also. The only round he was over par on those 5 holes was also the only round when he was over par for the round, which was round 2. So it was clearly those 5 holes that was a key for him. And he scored quite a few birdies there on those holes also, and finished with a good result overall, 2 down, and tied for 49th place, which is very good result for Tuomas Hyttinen.
Top 50 finish there, almost in the cash. I mean, really great job first time there, and really, really impressive with performance from him. First of all, just a huge shout out and congratulations to Gannon Buhr for an amazing victory, historic victory, one of the best performances I've ever seen. And also to Niklas Antila for doing something incredibly special as well. Also one of the best performances we've ever seen. And he's gonna have his moment. He will be on the top someday. I guarantee that. He seems like the type of guy it's only gonna fuel his fire even more. He's handled it with such class, such a good sport about it. Such a display of great sportsmanship, and an incredible champion that will continue to rake in the amazing titles here and the prestigious events even at the top. So big shout out to those guys, and Calvin Heimberg rounding out the podium there, also really great, solid finish. Just had one kind of the disaster hole that cost him. Yeah, Yona Hainan tied for 19th place, 14 down total. Super solid. Laina Mäkelä tied for 28th place, 10 down total, 9 down final round. So really, really hot shooting there on that final day to boost up 18 spots.
So many like those hot rounds from the European players. It was only Niklas who was able to do it round after round, but we saw some qualities from more or less all of them.
Yeah, I think we got to see that the European skills are right there with everybody, but like we've seen all year long, Niklas is the most consistent player on this continent and one of the most consistent players in the world, and that's to his advantage. He almost rarely ever really blows up for a big score on any day. So he's always controlling the disc. He's extremely methodical. He's incredibly talented, but also very driven and very mentally gifted, I think, or disciplined. Just the mental game's top notch. Yeah. And the physical skills, I think, are there from all these Europeans that we're seeing over there.
Clearly,
off hot rounds all the time.
They're all professional athletes, not just good disc golfer, but they are there to make a living and make a career out of this, and they are really proving to themselves as true professionals, all of them. So it's that's what you need to do also if you want to travel overseas and challenge the best players in the world.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Super proud of all those guys for what they're doing, and really, really fun to follow along in their disc golf journeys. And
should we run it down quickly? All the European finishes there also. You came down to Väinö.
So we had Jakob Semerad 31st, 9 down. Linus Carlsen 8 down final day, 8 down total. So big jump up there. 32nd place. Really, really solid. Cashed. These guys all cashed up to Albert Tom was the last cash place from Estonia there. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Europeans in the cash.
That's
really
great.
Impressive.
That's great.
Amazing. And Tuomas Hytiainen just missed it. And then Simon Lizotte missed it. Mauri Vilman. Jesse Nieminen.
Yeah.
Knut Valholland. Thomas Gilbert we'll shout out because he came to play on the European Pro Tour.
Yeah.
He's not actually a European, but we're keeping an eye on him and we're happy that he came over to play. Max Vergitnig qualified from the Monday qualifiers. Swedish.
That's right. Yeah.
Swedish player. So really cool that he was able to get to play in the event.
Mm-hmm.
Not his best finish. Kind of surprised to see Christian Quaxa didn't shoot 1,000 rated round the whole event. Henna Rudna was also kind of down on the lower end of it. Lauri Lettinen also qualified, but I believe he has some kind of a hand injury.
Yeah, I think his finger or something was. There's something there that is disturbing him, and it's probably wise then to not risk anything for the future. I don't think it's too serious, but I also don't know that well. So let's wait and see what happens with him.
Yeah, he did great to qualify, and I think it was some kind of injury from Finnish nationals that he's still been lingering and bothering him. And if it's on your throwing hand, on your throwing fingers, he might have to just aim towards next season and hope it heals up well. And we're hoping the best for him. A great champion as well. One of those guys that can also compete on that best stage, and we may see on the top someday right there with Niklas. Yeah,
already a winner on the European Pro Tour, and he has that kind of X factor in his game, so he could also very well be up there in the absolute top in the world. Yeah, so we're wishing him the best and hoping he gets as healthy as possible and comes back next season even stronger. Mikael Hamme also had qualified, but decided not to go for I think some health and maybe logistical issues as well. But big shout out to him for qualifying. Of course, the European Pro Tour points champion, and just a great job all around. Europeans really, really played well over there. Really strong representation. Yeah, I'm gonna live on this event for a long time. It feels like now we're heading into the off season. We still have 2 big events left this year. It's the disc golf. What do they call it even? Disc golf Pro Tour. Disc golf Pro Tour Championships. We're going to run that down shortly here. Yeah. We do have enough time to do that. But yeah, we also have that big All-Star event coming up in Spain, don't we? The European Pro Tour All-Star event. Make sure you check that out. That's November 16th through 19th, and you can watch that live on Disc Golf Stream. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, and we're going to talk that event down also in a future episode, so you will not miss anything regarding that before we go live. So true. We're going to have 2 special shows about that event, particularly a preview and a wrap-up show. And we'll even kind of talk a little bit with it about it, I think, in the episode prior to the pre-show as well. Yeah. Just a little bit about the logistical stuff with you, Hakut, the CEO of European Pro Tour. That'll be some of the discussion there. Might be some special guests also. We have to see who we get on as guests. Yeah, that's going to be fun to see who's going to be here chatting it up with us, because that's a lot of fun to get those great players with us. Speaking of guests, we already have some episodes coming up here where we know we have some really special guests. We're not going to really reveal anything just yet, but I can tell you it's very, very good shows here on Inside Disc Golf coming up. So stay with us. You hear that, folks? Yeah. Stay tuned. It's going to be awesome for sure.
Inside Disc Golf.
Let's get into the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship. That's starting today, actually. That's starting shortly. In an hour. We're recording. Yeah, in an hour. There'll be, I mean, of course, this is coming out a little bit later for you. You already maybe know the results of the day 1 play-in, but we have to talk about that because the top 2, there's 6 players playing in the play-in for both MPO and FPO, and the top 2 get to advance into the round 1 or quarterfinals. For the FPO, it's round 1 for the MPO. And on the FPO side, Henna Blomros is one of those players, so she needs to come play. It's a one, she just has to play for that round. And it's going to be 4 rounds if she wants to take this event down. Yeah. So she's going to have to battle all the way through to get herself in on the play-in. She'll have to finish top 2 today. And then she'll be joined in the quarterfinals with Evelina Salonen. If she's able to qualify today, she'll be into that. And then the top 4 from the quarterfinals move on to the semifinals, and they will join up with Kristen Tatar and 3 others who have finished in the top 4 positions throughout the season on Disc Golf Pro Tour. Mm-hmm. So 3 players to keep an eye on, European players, and the FPO side there for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship. That's in Charlotte, North Carolina, just north of Rock Hill, South Carolina, short drive. And so they don't have to travel far. They can head right up there. And that's going to be really fun. It's at a new venue this year. It's at, what was it called? I wanted to say Nevis because I was just in Nevis.
It was very similar to that.
I think it's Nevin Park. It was formerly held in Hornets Nest, I believe. But anyway, Charlotte's a big hub for disc golf, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned for that. Check out on the Disc Golf Network. You can watch Henna Blomros today, and then other European players.
And it's going to be really exciting to watch Henna, I think, because she finished 2nd in Worlds. She finished 3rd here and the throw pink, and now she anyway needs to qualify for this event at the play-in. It could be to her advantage though, because after every round, the scores go back to 0. So you can't lean on having one hot round and live on that, because you need to score good every single day. She will have, if she's able to qualify today, then she has that one round already in. She knows the course. She's already warmed up. She doesn't need to step in on one of the final days and start to score then. I mean, it can definitely be advantage to go in early. And that's what we saw last year. Nathan Queen, who won the MPO event, and I think he was ranked 29th or something. So one of those players who played like from the start, basically, and able to win.
That was one of the craziest underdog stories. It's a very unique format. He's from the area, so that was to his advantage, but he really showed up for that event and did really incredible things. I think he's been dealing with injury this season. We haven't seen much of him, but he's a really, really fun player to watch. And amazing what he did there last year. And
also great commentator.
That kind of unique.
But he has been doing that quite a lot this year. So
I really like his style. He's very, very matter of fact and very insightful. On the MPO side, we have 2 players to keep an eye on for the play-in, which is also taking place today, a little bit later on in the evening. You can follow that live on Disc Golf Network. It's the top 2 of 6, same format. We have Albert Tom from Estonia. He's the bazooka man. He's going to be trying to get himself into that event. And he'll also be joined with Thomas Gilbert, who's not European, like we said, but we got to see him on the European Pro Tour this season. So we're also kind of watching with interest what he's doing there. And then if they are able to advance, then they will be met with other European players. Vaina Mäkelä, Niklas Antila, and Linus Carlson have already qualified into round 1. Mm-hmm. So they performed really well all season long over there in the States. That's quite a incredible achievement to even have a chance at an event like this with the depth of field that they have over there in the States.
And to win from the play-in, you need to on the MPO side, you need to play for 5 rounds. So it's not an easy thing to do. You need to be at an absolute top 5 rounds in a row. We know that it's possible. We saw it last year, but it's going to be tough. These players have shown class last month, and we know that they're all ready to. Sure. And they want to take this down, even though it's not a major, not even like a real PDGA classed event in that way. But I think it's the highest prize money of the year.
Yep. Yes, it sure is. And the ratings don't count. It's just, every round you have to be in the moment and do the best you can in order to advance. And like a knockout kind of playoff type system. And but huge payout, $35,000 I think for the winner. That's amazing. I mean, really, really exciting. Simon Lizotte is into the semifinals. He's got to buy all the way to the semifinals, so he just needs to play 2 great rounds in order to collect a huge paycheck there. So another European player to watch.
Watch out for him with 4 wins already on this year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. he's a
He's had an
force to be
amazing
reckoned
season.
with easily.
Absolutely. And if he does win this event, I think he's in the running for player of the year. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Okay, he doesn't
Yeah.
He doesn't have that major win, but I mean, you know, Eagle won in the European Open, but he hasn't played a complete season, so you can't really consider him. Paul Macbeth won Worlds, and he's been right up there in the other majors, but he hasn't really had that kind of season we're used to seeing from him. He's only had a couple wins total.
Yeah, and of course, that's a player we have high expectations on every time he shows up. So,
oh, he's the GOAT, isn't he? I mean, of the modern era, he's the Michael Jordan of our sport. He's a true champion. He's really set the bar for what is possible and what it takes to achieve. He's brought the disc golf to a whole nother level, single-handedly, really, with his professionalism.
But maybe not to his advantage to run for these kind of titles for like player of the year,
because you're always comparing him to what he's done in the past, and it feels like an off season if he doesn't win the majority of the events. I understand what you're saying, and that's true.
But he won the biggest one, though.
But the fact is, there's a lot of other players really, catching up quick and doing everything they can to earn these achievements and accolades. And so Ricky Wysocki, of course, is in the running, but he's going to have to probably win this event if he wants that because he hasn't got himself a major.
No, he has been close many times. You can see that he really, really, really wants to get a big title this year. If there's someone who wants, I don't think there's anyone who wants it more than him right now. And I think that might actually, in his case, be to his disadvantage, because sometimes I get the feeling that he wants it a little bit too much. He's taking a little bit too big risks. Yeah,
pushing too hard and kind of like really trying to force it maybe. Yeah, and I think that really cost him in round 3 there at the USDGC. He was up there just behind Nico, so we're maybe tied for the lead. I can't remember if he was tied, I think. And he just had a nightmare round. He was really, he just got off to a slow start, and then he kind of got a little frustrated and tried to push, and it's not the kind of course you can really be that type of a mode.
No, and it was the same thing for him also at Worlds, where he was a few strokes behind. He knew that he had to score really well to get up in the top, and just felt like he tried a little bit too much. And that's, of course, my personal opinion. He knows, of course, best himself what kind of game plan he should have. But yeah, I think he can be to his disadvantage to want it that much.
Yeah. I guess we got a little bit off track, but it's important to kind of assess what this event means. It is. There's a lot to be played for, not just the huge paycheck, but also there's some bigger implications at stake here because there's no clear favorite for the Player of the Year running. So it's really going to come down to this last event there on the Disc Golf Pro Tour to see who will probably be that Player of the Year, which is quite a prestigious honor.
But we're keeping an extra eye on Niklas Antila, on Linus Karlsson, on Väinö Mäkelä, and on Albert Tam. And also maybe half an eye at Thomas Gilbert also.
He gets an honorary nod. Yeah. We're gonna keep it.
He's a nice
keep track
guy.
of him. And best of luck to all the competitors, particularly the European ones that we're focusing on for this podcast. The course is a little bit different. It's quite a tight wooded course. Something we don't see too often on the Disc Golf Pro Tour these days.
Probably a good thing for the Europeans. I
think so. Good point there. Yeah, that seems to be the style of play more common in Europe, and one of the advantages that a lot of the European players have with that accuracy, hitting those tight gaps and feeling comfortable in the tight spaces of wooded golf. And it's really fun to watch. I really love it when the trees are shaping the fairways that way, where you have to kind of throw very specific lines and be in complete control of your disc. And if you're off, then you have to do, all kinds of crazy stuff in order just to work your way towards the hole. It makes, the scrambling's really important.
Yeah.
And you got to pull out all the tricks in your bag if you want to have a good result there.
Yeah, in my opinion, the best disc golf is played in the forest. I really like that style of play. So it's going to be a really fun event to follow. And we are going to talk about the results in a later episode, but I think it's starting to get time to wrap this one up. What do you think?
Sure is. Yeah, it sure is. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you're feeling better soon. That you can come back to the studio next week in full health, and that you'll feel fully recovered. And thanks for making the time to join me by video link. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I don't want to miss a recording of Inside Disc Golf. It's always a pleasure to sit down and talk with you about the thing that we love most, European disc golf,
isn't it? Yeah. It's a great thing to do, and we really appreciate all you viewers joining along with us. Thank you very much for your support and viewership, and make sure you go to inside@europeanprotour.com.
That's our email address.
Yep, in order to be in the running for one of these really great whale sacks, courtesy of Tina and Eric Oakley. Big thanks to our partner at Whale Sacks. Super great product that'll keep your hands dry, even when you're nervous and hot and everything. You see a lot of the players out there using them. I noticed a ton of different people juggling whale sacks out there on the course at USDGC. Very popular product, and we're really, really happy and grateful to have their support. So make sure you send us a message, anything you want to share, or questions, comments, anything. Just send that over and you'll be in the running for one of those great European Pro Tour first run whale sacks. Also, big congratulations to all of the players at the United States Disc Golf Championship, particularly Gannon Burr and Niklas Antila, for that wonderful show they put on and the incredible historical results. Also, big congratulations to the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Champion, Katrina Allen, and to the great podium placers there, Kristin Tatar and Henna Blomros. And big congratulations to all the players that even qualified, all the European players that were over there doing their thing, and really, really great to follow along with all of your success. Anything
the future looks bright for European disc golf.
Super bright.
Yeah.
A ton of fun to get to follow, and make sure you stay tuned to Inside Disc Golf Podcast for future episodes, and we'll definitely be following very closely with all the results and all the European players doing what they love to do, and cool that we get to do what we love to do as well. Follow along with this great sport.
But that's it, right?
That does it. Thank you very much. Enjoy the show. Tune in for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships. Follow along on Disc Golf Network, and we'll see you next time on Inside Disc Golf Podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Inside Disc Golf, the European Disc Golf Podcast. Everything about European disc golf in one podcast.